The sun of the distant star system of Nerion gleamed across the Larathian capital. Towering crystalline spires reflected the light like giant prisms, scattering colors across the bustling city streets. Human eyes were not used to such brilliance, but Commander Alex Kane stood in awe nonetheless. He adjusted the strap of his communicator, feeling slightly out of place among the graceful, tall aliens that moved with an almost liquid elegance. Alex had been selected for the first contact mission because of his quick thinking and ability to adapt. Humanity had long dreamed of meeting another intelligent species, and now that dream was real. The Larathians were not only intelligent but also curious, sometimes too curious for their own good, as Alex had already discovered. He walked through the observation plaza of the city, taking careful notes on alien architecture, their social behavior, and the subtle way they moved and communicated. Everything here was different. The streets had no sharp corners, only smooth curves. Hover platforms floated above the ground, carrying people from one place to another. The air was filled with a soft melodic hum that seemed to come from the buildings themselves. "Commander Kane," a voice called out, crisp and melodic. Alex turned to see a Larathian approaching. She was beautiful even by human standards, tall with skin that shimmered faintly like polished pearl and eyes that glowed a soft green. Her long hair floated around her in the gentle artificial breeze, giving her an ethereal appearance. She wore a ceremonial robe that shimmered with tiny embedded lights, shifting colors with every movement. "I am Lyra," she said, bowing slightly. Her voice had a musical quality that made Alex feel strangely calm. "You are from Earth?" "Yes," Alex said, extending his hand in the human gesture of greeting. Lyra studied it for a moment, then mimicked the motion delicately. She did not shake his hand but mirrored it in a way that seemed polite in her culture. Alex smiled. The first bridge had been crossed. Lyra tilted her head, studying him closely. "Your species. You use the mouth for this?" she asked suddenly, her voice filled with genuine curiosity. Her green eyes widened slightly and a faint blush tinted her cheeks. Alex froze. The words seemed strange, almost innocent, but he realized she was asking about a simple human activity. Eating, a gesture, or perhaps even speaking. He chuckled softly, remembering that what was normal to humans might seem unusual to aliens. "Ah, yes," he said carefully, not wanting to confuse her further. "We use our mouths for many things. For eating, speaking, singing." He trailed off, unsure how much detail to give. Lyra's eyes widened even more, and she stepped closer, her curiosity almost palpable. "Does it hurt?" she asked, her tone hesitant. "Is it dangerous?" Alex laughed softly. "No, not really. It's just a way we interact with the world. I think it's very simple, really." He gestured toward a small device on his belt, a communicator that could also display holograms. "This might help you understand. It shows how we do things." Lyra's eyes lit up with interest. She reached out delicately, letting her fingers hover over the device without touching it. The human hologram sprang to life, showing an animated demonstration of humans eating a meal. Lyra tilted her head, her expression one of wonder mixed with disbelief. "Your species is strange," she said softly, blushing again. "But I like it." Alex smiled, feeling a warmth he had not expected. First contact could be awkward, tense, even dangerous, but this was something different. Curiosity, fascination, and perhaps a hint of friendship. "Come with me," he said, gesturing toward a nearby platform. "I can show you more." They moved together, weaving through the bustling crowd. Larathians paused to stare, some whispering to each other, but none approached. Lyra explained quietly, "They are curious about you, but you are different. You do not fear them." Alex nodded. "Humans, we are curious too, and sometimes curiosity helps more than fear." They arrived at a small demonstration area, where other humans had set up equipment to show simple technologies, water filtration, communication devices, and portable energy sources. Lyra's eyes darted from one exhibit to another, glowing with fascination. Alex picked up a small round device that emitted a soft hum. "This is a communicator. It lets humans speak to each other across long distances. We thought you might find it interesting." Lyra reached out carefully, touching it lightly. The hum shifted in pitch, almost as if the device recognized her touch. She gasped softly. "It listens?" "Yes," Alex said. "It listens and it speaks, much like your own voices." Lyra blushed again, laughing softly. "Your species is very clever. Strange but clever. Alex felt a small surge of pride. Humanity had come so far, and yet these moments of curiosity and understanding, were what mattered most. They built bridges between worlds faster than diplomacy or politics ever could. Lyra stepped back, her expression thoughtful. "Commander Kane, may I ask something strange?" Alex nodded. "Of course," she hesitated for a moment, then said softly, "Does your species always use the mouth for this?" Alex laughed. "Well, yes, most of the time. But sometimes we use tools too, why?" Lyra's blush deepened. I thought it might be different. In my culture, we do not always use the mouth for these things. It seemed unusual." Alex smiled warmly. "That's the thing about humans. We are strange in ways that might seem funny to you, but it works for us. And sometimes, it helps us solve problems in ways no one expects." Lyra's eyes sparkled with understanding. "I like that. I like your strangeness." For a moment they simply stood there, sharing a quiet connection that neither fully understood but both appreciated. Around them the city moved in its strange, beautiful rhythm, but for Alex and Lyra time seemed to slow. Suddenly an alarm rang across the demonstration area. A small energy panel flickered and sparked. Alex rushed forward, assessing the situation. The humans around him scrambled, but the problem was minor: a test panel overheating. With calm efficiency, Alex adjusted the settings and stabilized the device. Lyra watched in amazement. "Your species. You act quickly. You do not panic," Alex shrugged. "We try not to. Panicking rarely solves anything." Lyra's admiration was clear. "You are very different from us. Brave, clever, and funny. I did not expect this from a visitor." Alex grinned. "I think humans are full of surprises. Maybe one day you will see more of them." As the crowd settled and curiosity returned to polite observation, Lyra lingered beside him. "I want to learn more," she said softly. "About your methods, your ways, your species." Alex looked at her and smiled. "And I want to learn more about yours. That's what first contact is really about. Understanding each other." For the first time since he arrived on Nerion, Alex felt a true sense of connection, not just with a new species, but with someone who represented their curiosity and intelligence. Humanity had arrived in this distant system, not just as visitors but as problem solvers, learners, and friends. And somewhere deep down, Alex knew this was only the beginning. The next day, Commander Alex Kane was escorted through the Larathian city by Lyra. The streets shimmered with soft light from the crystalline towers, and hover platforms glided silently above the ground. The Larathians moved with grace, their long limbs flowing like water as they navigated the bustling streets. Alex carried a small case of human devices and gadgets. Today's goal was simple: introduce the Larathians to some of humanity's basic technology. But Alex knew better than to underestimate their curiosity. He had already seen how Lyra and her peers reacted to even simple devices. "This is incredible," Alex said, glancing at the surrounding city. "Your people? Your city? It's amazing. How does it all work?" Lyra smiled, a soft curve of her shimmering lips. "It works because we respect balance. Every action has a purpose, every movement is connected. But you, humans, you are unpredictable. I want to understand why." Alex chuckled. "Unpredictable can be a good thing sometimes. It helps solve problems faster." They arrived at a Larathian learning center, a large hall with curved walls that glowed faintly. Inside, several young Larathians gathered, their eyes wide with curiosity. Alex noticed that while the Larathians were intelligent, they approached problems very differently. Their culture emphasized precision, ritual, and repetition, while humans relied on observation, improvisation, and quick adaptation. Alex set down his case and opened it. He pulled out a small round device, a universal human communicator. This device allows humans to talk to each other across long distances. It's simple but powerful. Lyra's eyes sparkled. "Let me see." She reached out carefully, touching the device with delicate fingers. The communicator hummed softly, lights flickering as if responding to her touch. She gasped. "It listens and understands?" "Yes," Alex said. "And it speaks back. It's not perfect, but it works. Sometimes we even use it to solve problems together when we are far apart." Lyra studied it closely. "Your species. You make tools that imitate yourselves. Fascinating." Next, Alex pulled out a small kit for building a basic water filter. This is something we humans invented to survive. It may not seem impressive, but in emergencies it saves lives. Lyra tilted her head. It is practical. I like practical things. She watched intently as Alex demonstrated how the filter worked. Water poured through layers of sand, charcoal, and fabric, emerging clean at the other end. The Lorathians gasped softly, clearly impressed. You adapt quickly, Lyra said, her voice full. The morning sun reflected off the crystalline towers of the Lorathian city, casting a rainbow of colors across the streets. Commander Alex, Kane, and Lyra walked through the central plaza, their steps echoing softly on the polished surfaces. Today, Alex was scheduled to visit one of the Lorathians' most advanced energy facilities, a massive structure that hummed with barely contained power. You must be careful here, Lyra warned, her voice soft but firm. Even a small mistake could be dangerous, Alex smiled reassuringly. I know. Humans are careful too, and we like a challenge. Lyra tilted her head, intrigued by his confidence. A challenge? You humans seem to enjoy them. Yes, Alex said. Challenges make us grow. They test our minds, our skills, our creativity. The energy facility loomed ahead, a structure of shining metal and translucent panels. Lorathian engineers moved quickly, their long fingers adjusting controls with precision. The hum of energy was constant, almost musical, but there was an underlying tension Alex could sense. Something was wrong. As they entered the main control hall, alarms suddenly rang. Red lights flashed and the air vibrated with warning signals. The engineers froze, their movements sharp and urgent but uncertain. Commander Kane, one of the senior engineers, said, her glowing eyes wide with worry. A critical panel has failed. The energy flow is unstable. If it continues, it could overload the system and destroy part of the facility. Alex's eyes narrowed. He scanned the room, noting the complex network of conduits and panels. The system was advanced, yes, but the Lorathians were struggling because their approach was rigid. They relied on procedure rather than improvisation. Step aside, Alex said calmly. I'll take a look. Lyra followed closely, her expression tense but curious. Be careful, she whispered. This is serious. Even for humans, it could be dangerous. Alex knelt beside the malfunctioning panel. He quickly identified the problem, a feedback loop in the energy system that the Lorathians' protocols had failed to account for. With careful hands, he adjusted a few settings, rerouted energy through a temporary bypass, and stabilized the system. The alarms ceased and the red lights dimmed. The engineers stared in disbelief. How? One of them asked. We have tried everything. Alex stood, brushing his hands off. Sometimes you need to think outside the usual procedure. Observe the problem, understand it, and adapt. That's what humans do. Lyra's eyes shone with admiration. You see solutions differently. You do not panic. You act, Alex nodded. We face challenges head on. That's how we survive. The engineers quickly followed Alex's instructions to secure the system, and soon the energy facility hummed smoothly once again. The crisis was averted and the potential disaster had been avoided. You humans, Lyra said softly, still processing what she had witnessed. You do not fear failure. You improvise. That is remarkable, Alex smiled. Improvisation is key. Rules are important, but understanding is more important. You have to adapt when things do not go as planned. Lyra looked at him, her blush returning faintly. I admire that. Your species. You are brave, clever, and different, Alex shrugged modestly. We just try to do what is right. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we never give up. The rest of the day was spent walking through the facility, with Alex explaining human problem-solving methods. Lyra and the other Lorathians listened carefully, clearly fascinated. They asked questions, some simple, some complex, and Alex answered with patience, demonstrating humanity's ability to communicate complex ideas clearly and efficiently. At one point, a small childlike Lorathian accidentally pressed the wrong control, causing a minor spark to flare. While the Lorathians panicked, Alex quickly assessed the situation and calmly corrected it, preventing any further issues. Lyra's eyes widened. Even when others panic, she whispered, you remain calm. You teach them by example. Alex nodded. Humans learn from mistakes. Sometimes seeing a solution is more powerful than following instructions. As evening fell, Lyra guided Alex to a viewing platform overlooking the city. The towers reflected the setting sun, creating a dazzling display of light. "Commander Kane," Lyra said softly. "Your species, you are not like us. But I see. You have strengths we lack. You think differently. You act differently, and you save lives because of it." Alex looked out at the city, then back at Lyra. "Every species has strengths. Humans are good at adapting, solving problems in real time, and staying calm under pressure. That's how we survive. That's how we thrive." Lyra nodded slowly, clearly impressed. "You are clever. Far beyond what I expected, and I think your species could be a true ally." Alex smiled. "That's the plan. We want to learn from you, and maybe you can learn from us too. Together we can solve problems neither of us could alone." Lyra's gaze softened. "I am beginning to see that, and I am beginning to trust you." Just then, an urgent message came from the facility's central system. Another panel was showing signs of instability, this time in a different section. Alex's eyes narrowed. This was no longer a simple test. It was a challenge. "Lyra," he said calmly, "this is where humans shine. We solve problems when others cannot. Step aside and watch how it's done." Lyra nodded, stepping back but staying close enough to observe. Alex quickly assessed the situation, identifying the unstable section and the potential chain reaction that could occur. He instructed the engineers to follow his adjustments, showing them simple ways to stabilize energy flow without relying on rigid protocols. The work was tense, and time seemed to stretch. Sparks flew from a control module, and the room vibrated with the energy of the unstable system. But Alex remained calm, guiding the Lorathians through every step. Finally, with a final adjustment and a careful rerouting of power, the system stabilized completely. The hum of energy returned to normal, and the lights in the facility glowed steadily. The Lorathians erupted into murmurs of admiration and relief. Lyra's eyes glowed brighter than ever. "Commander Kane, your species. I have never seen anything like this. You saved us all." Alex smiled humbly. "Humans do what we must. We learn quickly, act decisively, and never give up. That's how we survive and thrive." Lyra stepped closer, her expression one of awe and genuine respect. I understand now why humanity is so remarkable. Not just your intelligence, but your courage, your calm, your ability to act when others falter. You are truly extraordinary." Alex felt a warmth in his chest. Humanity had arrived in this alien world not just as visitors, but as capable problem solvers and allies. And Lyra, with her curiosity and admiration, represented a bridge to a deeper understanding between their species. As they walked back through the city, the sun setting behind the crystalline towers, Alex realized that this challenge had done more than test his skills. It had shown the Lorathians the strength and ingenuity of humans. And it had strengthened the bond between him and Lyra, a connection that promised future cooperation, friendship, and mutual respect. That night, as Alex prepared to rest aboard the human transport, he thought about the day's events. Humanity had once again proven itself capable, clever, and brave. And in doing so, they had taken another step toward becoming more than visitors. They were becoming partners, friends, and a force to be respected across the stars. The question Lyra had asked on the first day about using the mouth now seemed symbolic. It had started as innocent curiosity but had led to understanding, trust, and admiration. And Alex knew that in this new world, humanity's curiosity, adaptability, and courage would open doors no one had imagined. The city of Nerion glimmered under the light of its twin moons, casting soft reflections across the crystalline towers. Commander Alex Kane walked alongside Lyra through a quiet garden that seemed almost alive. Glowing plants swayed gently, their soft hums harmonizing with the distant energy hum of the city. After the recent crisis at the energy facility, both humans and Lorathians had gained a newfound respect for one another. But for Alex, today felt different. This was not about proving abilities, it was about understanding. Lyra stopped at a reflective pool, her luminous eyes watching the rippling water. "Commander Kane," she said softly, "your species, it is unlike ours. You act, you adapt, and yet you feel deeply. How do humans remain calm in chaos yet still care so much?" Alex smiled, crouching beside the pool. "Humans have to adapt. Life throws unexpected problems at us all the time. Staying calm helps us think clearly, but caring, that is what keeps us going." We act not just for ourselves, but for others. Lyra studied him silently. I see, that is different from us. We focus on perfection, on order, but sometimes we forget about emotion. You remind me that feeling can be strength, Alex nodded. It is. Sometimes emotion guides decisions better than logic alone. And curiosity too. Curiosity drives us to explore, to learn, to connect. Lyra's gaze softened and she reached out, pointing toward a small device Alex had brought. Yesterday I observed your tools, your instruments. Everything humans touch, you leave your curiosity in it. It is inspiring, Alex chuckled. We like to experiment. We learn by trying things, by making mistakes. It is messy, but it works. Lyra laughed softly, the sound musical and light. Messy and effective. I think I like that. They walked further into the garden, passing through arches of glowing vines. Alex noticed that Lyra's usual formality was replaced by relaxed curiosity. She asked questions of B. The Lorathian council chamber was vast, circular, and glowing with soft white light. Every wall shimmered with floating symbols, representing centuries of knowledge and culture. Commander Alex Kane stood at the center, flanked by Lyra, as dozens of Lorathian leaders observed him. This was no ordinary meeting, it was a test. Commander Kane, one of the counselors began, her voice resonant. Your species has shown ingenuity and courage, but now we must see if humans can solve a problem that challenges even our greatest minds. Alex nodded. He had anticipated that proving humanity's skills in problem-solving would eventually reach this level. I understand, he said calmly. Show me the challenge. A holographic projection rose from the center of the chamber. It displayed a detailed simulation of a citywide energy network. Portions of the grid flickered dangerously, and red zones indicated areas of critical overload. The council explained that a rare energy fluctuation, a natural phenomenon in their system, was about to occur. If the humans and Lorathians could not stabilize the energy flow, parts of the city would shut down, risking thousands of lives. Lyra looked at Alex, her glowing eyes full of concern. Commander, this is serious. Even we struggle to control it. Can humans help? Alex studied the projection, analyzing the network. Humans are adaptable, he said. We solve problems differently. Let me try. He knelt beside a control panel, examining the readings. The Lorathians watched silently, some skeptical, others hopeful. Alex noticed something immediately. Their system was elegant but rigid. Lorathians had designed procedures for every possible scenario, but the fluctuation was irregular, unpredictable. Humans thrived in these situations. Step 1, Alex said, speaking aloud so everyone could hear. We observe patterns. Step 2, we identify variables not accounted for. Step 3, we adapt the system dynamically, instead of following fixed protocols. Lyra leaned closer. You think differently. You do not rely on rules alone. Alex smiled. Rules are guidelines. Understanding and adaptation are tools, and humans, we improvise when needed. He began to reconfigure the holographic network, rerouting energy along alternative paths and creating temporary buffers in the simulation. Some council members murmured nervously, clearly unsure of his methods. Others, watching carefully, began to understand. Commander Kane, one elder said, your method is unusual. It violates our traditional procedures. Are you certain it will work? Alex nodded confidently. It will work if we monitor constantly and adjust quickly. Humans do not fear mistakes. We learn and correct them immediately. As the simulation continued, unexpected fluctuations appeared. Alex calmly adjusted the energy flow, rerouting power and activating temporary buffers. Red zones flickered, shrank, then disappeared. The Lorathians watched, astonished at his speed and accuracy. Lyra whispered, clearly impressed. Commander, your species. You do not panic. You control chaos. Alex replied softly. We try to. It is how we survive, how we solve problems, and how we help others. Hours passed as Alex continued to manipulate the energy system. He worked tirelessly, explaining his thought process to the Larathians, showing them that observation, improvisation, and quick adaptation could solve problems their rigid protocols could not. Finally, the network stabilized completely. The red zones vanished, replaced by calm green indicators. The council chamber erupted in murmurs of astonishment. One counselor stepped forward. "Commander Kane, humanity has done what we thought impossible. You have solved a challenge that even our experts could not. Your species is extraordinary." Lyra's eyes glowed brighter than ever. "I told you, humans are remarkable. Commander Kane, you have proven it beyond doubt." Alex looked around at the council members. "Humans do not act alone. We observe, we learn, and we adapt. But collaboration is key. If humans and Larathians work together, we can achieve much more than either of us alone." The counselors exchanged glances, clearly considering his words carefully. Finally, the elder spoke. "Commander Kane, your actions have not only solved the immediate problem, but have demonstrated a new method of thought. Humans think flexibly, act decisively, and solve problems in ways we could not imagine. This is wisdom in action." Alex nodded humbly. "Thank you. But wisdom comes from curiosity, courage, and willingness to try. Humans have survived in harsh conditions for thousands of years because we do not fear the unknown. We learn from it, and we act." Lyra stepped closer, her expression soft and proud. "Commander, your species, it inspires. Not just with skills, but with courage, curiosity, and heart. I am honored to know you." Alex smiled warmly. "And I am honored to know you, Lyra. Humanity has much to learn from your people as well. Your knowledge, your discipline, and your insight are extraordinary. Together, we can face anything." The council chamber was silent for a moment, the gravity of the day settling over everyone. Then the elder raised a hand. "Let it be known, humanity is not just a visitor, but a partner, a species capable of understanding, problem-solving, and courage beyond measure. Commander Kane and his people, you have earned our trust and our respect." Lyra's eyes glistened as she turned to Alex. "You have done more than solve a problem. You have shown what humans are capable of. I am proud to call you an ally and a friend." Alex felt a sense of pride not just for himself, but for humanity. Their journey had begun with curiosity, moved through challenges, and now stood at recognition. Humans were being acknowledged not just for strength but for intelligence, ingenuity, and courage. The council concluded the session, and as Alex and Lyra walked through the glowing corridors of the chamber, she spoke softly. "Commander Kane, humans are strange, yes. But your strangeness is strength, courage, adaptability, curiosity. It is unmatched." Alex chuckled. "We try our best. And sometimes that's enough to make a difference." Lyra laughed softly. "It is more than enough. It is inspiring." Outside the council chamber, the city glimmered under the night sky, the twin moons reflecting in the crystalline towers. Alex and Lyra paused to take it all in. Humanity had proven itself, but Alex knew this was only the beginning. Challenges would come again, some technical, some social, some completely unexpected. But humans had shown that no matter the obstacle, they could adapt, improvise, and succeed. Lyra glanced at him, a hint of mischief in her glowing eyes. "Commander Kane, I think your species could teach my people many things, and perhaps a few things about enjoying life while solving problems." Alex grinned. "I think that's a fair challenge. Humans are good at both." Lyra laughed, her musical voice echoing softly in the courtyard. "I look forward to learning, and maybe even laughing along the way." Alex nodded, feeling the warmth of friendship and trust. Humanity had faced the test, solved the impossible, and earned the respect of an advanced alien species. But more than that, they had shown the Larathians the value of curiosity, courage, and empathy, qualities that defined humans across the stars. As they walked back toward the city side by side, Alex realized that humanity's strength was not just in machines, weapons, or technology. It was in the people, their minds, hearts, and unyielding spirit. And for Lyra, and perhaps her people, that realization would change how they saw humans forever. The morning sun rose over Nerion, painting the crystalline towers in shades of gold and rose. Commander Alex Kane stood atop a balcony, overlooking the city. The energy facility was stable, the streets alive with movement, and the city itself seemed almost serene. But today was not about crises or problem-solving. Today was about the beginning of something greater. Lyra approached, her glowing eyes reflecting the morning light. "Commander Kane," she said softly, "today is significant, not because of machines or systems, but because of trust, friendship, and understanding." Alex smiled. "I know. Humans believe that relationships are as important as technology. Without trust and collaboration, even the strongest systems fail." Lyra nodded. "Your species. It has shown my people what courage and wisdom look like, but more importantly, what kindness and understanding can achieve." Alex looked out over the city. "That's what humans hope to bring to the galaxy. Not just our strength or our inventions, but our spirit. We adapt, we learn, and we care. That's what makes us strong." The council had convened once more, this time for a formal announcement. The chamber filled with Lyrathian leaders, their luminous eyes observing Alex with respect. Lyra stood beside him, acting as both translator and friend. One elder spoke first. "Commander Kane, your species has faced challenges that even we deemed impossible. You have stabilized our city's systems, guided our engineers, and demonstrated qualities that our people have long admired but seldom witnessed. Today we recognize humanity as a valued ally, not merely visitors but partners in knowledge, exploration, and progress." Alex bowed slightly, humbled. "Thank you. Humanity believes in cooperation. We have much to learn from your people as well. Together we can accomplish more than either species could alone." Lyra stepped forward. "Commander Kane, I have observed your species closely. I have watched how humans act under pressure, how they adapt, how they care. Your spirit, it is extraordinary, and I wish for our peoples to share knowledge, culture, and friendship for many generations." The council murmured their agreement. This was more than recognition. It was the beginning of a formal alliance. After the ceremony, Alex walked with Elle,